Hey guys, and welcome back to the Big Build. Here's a few screenshots of what we'll be building today. Now, thank you to the Station Master, Chris200179, Mr. Sans the Black Engine, and Fred White for all suggesting place names this week. I'm terrible at creating names, so all your suggestions are very helpful. And Gummy, I finally got round to naming the village this week, so you should see it on screen in the video. During the week, Alan Murphy, a regular contributor, also asked if we could place fields around the village. That's one of the biggest things we'll be doing in today's episode. Also, Jaws Jones, Fred White and Chaz's Trainz made suggestions for the upcoming mainline. Chaz's Trainz suggested a flyover and possible double crossover. I do like the idea of flyover and I think we can work that in. Meanwhile, Jaws Jones suggested a Trainz works. That would be a great spectacle as whizzing by, and Fred White said perhaps we could add in an industrial area near to the track. At the beginning of the series, the city did have a canal running through the industrial area. This sadly got removed to save GPU, but a copy will return to the outskirts of a new industrial town, something very close to the track. I'm looking forward to adding this back in. These are all great ideas, guys. Keep them coming. Now, to the build. We start today by adding a new extension to the line. Now it's added because I like the view from the harbour up to the village there. So it's the only time we're probably ever going to see it, is if we ever use this line. Now, that's a big hill. Getting up that hill is going to be difficult. We kind of achieve it. It doesn't look too bad, but it does look a bit steep, if I'm honest, at the end. We're going to have to look over that and pretend that's not the case. I try and make it as even as possible, but it's still steep wherever I do. Now, today's episode, we're going to be doing a little bit of this. We are going to finish off the village area, and we're going to put all the fields and the bushes and all kinds of things in between this village and the village we created the episode before. As you can see right now, because we've added that track in, the land's a bit lower, so we're just having to add a bank in. Now we're going to decorate that. I play around a little bit, hiring it up as much as possible to land, so we can don't have any gaps. It doesn't look too bad actually afterwards. You'll see, obviously, because it's been put in. Now it's a bit too tall there, so we added this wall in to go underneath it. You can see it actually doesn't go down to the ground. It's too steep, so I said that line is very steep. We're going to make it so it's not used very often. Now I figure we're going to have to get under this bridge or under this track somehow, so we add this what will be a bridge in. Lower it down a bit. It's only been one span once we've done it, so we'll put a road under. You can see I've got some caravans waiting there and some tents. That's going to be the caravan part behind there. We do that just at the end of the episode. I figured we'll get all the other stuff done first. So we do a little bit of this line now, but we'll finish the detailing later. But we gradually work our way up to the other village. Messing around with heights, I did a lot of this in this episode. Now this is the cliff between what will be, the water at the bottom, you can see here. So the water will go all the way up to there. Now you're going to see I had 3 attempts at this cliff. I used some splines, I tried painting it, and I don't quite get how I want it. We end up with paint, but I'm going to show you the 2 different splines I use. But they're too repetitive, and they just don't look real, unfortunately. But the other side, at the moment, is a cliff, so we're going to lower that down. They're just going to be hills. We're going to have fields here. So this side, on this inner corner, we're going to have a beach. And at the bottom here, I'm adding sort of, let's call it a rocky beach at the end. Now, do you just pass one of the splines I tested? We try that one first. We try it all the way down first of all. Don't like it. We try at the top, then we try and paint it underneath it. I don't like that. So in a sec we're going to get rid of that. We'll paint some sand in and rocks and stuff in first. But this is going to be beach all the way around here. And that road will extend round to the right as well. We get rid of that. We put this one in next. But again, once you've added it in a certain way, a certain distance, it does just look repetitive. Not quite right, doesn't look right, so we just get rid of it. I tried putting rocks on it, as you can see, but just like the waterfall in a few episodes ago, I just don't like those rocks. I think if you got them on the ground, those boulders on the ground, I think they look great, but if you try and add them in as anything else, it would work. Now this retaining wall will stay. This is actually quite useful in the end. We'll hide some, a few little problems here and there. So spline of those bushes. Now guess what I forgot to do? I forgot to play pay where equals false, but I didn't put it on some of this build, so I went and used some bushes which are paid ones. So yeah, they all get removed. That was annoying. I was really trying, wasn't I, with that cliff there to make that look a bit better, but oh well. Now we'll be eventually walling all the way up to the middle village. That's the village just under the, I was going to say cliffs, mountains, that's the word, mountains. It's not actually too far between here and there. But dividing this area off into little fields and stuff is much better. It makes it look far nicer. As you can see, we give up on the splines, and I try some different bits and bobs here now. The only problem doing this is it looks like little triangles, so trying to make it come out and not look like a triangle is very difficult. I'm reasonably happy at the end. I'm not fantastically happy with it still. As you can see, at this point we've got quite a few what would be rocks, but I do lose a few of those. And of course you do your base coat, and you do lots of different coats on top of it of paint. So that was just the base coat on top of that. Now because there's so many rocks, of course a lighthouse is needed. At this point I put a load of rocks on top of here, you know, those boulders, but that didn't work. I'm not bothered putting a video because we just don't use them. So I made this a bit more lumpy and sort of... from the track it looks okay. Bit of turf effects around the side. We're going to have some splines of bushes and grass and all kinds of things. We're going to use a lot of this sort of the one we're using now here, JV seagrass, because this is a branch line and I want it to look a bit overrun, not well kept. Yeah, so it's very pretty obviously, but especially this little branch bit which comes off, this is going to look very overgrown at the end. There you go, lots and lots of bushes. So it's coming together slowly. So it's 3 days work here. I think all of Sunday I was doing this. Add those ones in. Because nobody ever goes up there. Why would you got that steep hill? So it doesn't get cut, the grass or anything, so it's there. Try some different bushes and trees and things and just keep mixing them up. Don't use the same one always. And if you're doing it, always try and use the better stuff, the higher GP stuff near the track, and then use the less GP stuff, intensive stuff further out. So we're slowly getting there. But we have to do this all the way up to the middle village. Now we've got some signal boxes, but we don't put the signals in this episode. Now it's highly likely I'm going to have to not put an episode out next week, because there are lots of little things which need to be done on this route before I can actually release it, and that is the plan. We are going to have a show and tell video, which is basically driving between, well, if you remember the last show and tell video where we drove last time, that village there, we're going to drive from there down to this Cornwall village. So nice little details, some of them put their washing out. So So I'm trying to add a few little animated bushes at the end there because the train's going to stop and you're possibly looking around. I'm not so bothered when it's moving because you're probably not going to see it. But here it's a bit more needed. So we add a lot of bushes up to the back here. And we'll put some lower res ones in as well as we get further up. But we're still quite close to the track, so you can't do anything too low res here. Yeah, actually we don't actually end up using this. I'll take this back out because we could put some animals in there in the end. More fencing, and that fencing pretty much, well, I think goes about halfway actually between here and the other village. Now we're about halfway now, and I've decided a road going over the top would be a nice feature. So we hire this land up and get the road across. Let's get a spline with sort of some moving traffic for once. And up it goes to that corner. We'll put some more bushes in there in a second. And go the other way. What have we got to do? What have we got to do? Yes. What have we got to do? We've got to put a wall up. That's what we've got to do. So we can hide the road that's floating. I don't like floating things. It doesn't look real when it floats. So if you can try and hide it as much as possible. It's just not possible to actually flatten it down as much as you'd like. I get very frustrated with that. More trees, low res ones, these ones. Really just for the background, because when you're looking for the track you're just seeing them. See, there you go. I don't think we use this signal box in the end, so this is the middle village again. It's going to become quite overgrown in the end, this village. Yeah, more grass. I do like these lines of grass, one of my favourite. Probably overuse them really. Probably better to use them a bit more sparingly. So we've put the really small ones in between, so it looks like it's overgrown there as well. Now we're back down to the sea. This is the junction which goes different ways. That single track will go off to the probably the final route, the final line on the route which we're going to put in, but that's after the main line, which will be the coastal route. I'm sure by now you know that that coastal route will connect the ends of this route and the main line up, because the main line is going to go to a port. So it'll be a passenger station there and a freight station there at some point. More hedges everywhere. I like these big hedges. Sometimes I look a bit see-through, so I put a much lower res hedge inside it, so it looks much darker. So I've done that there. Depends where it is positioned. You have to check, so it looks see-through to you. That's a good tip. Put something really low res inside it. That gets rid of the see-throughness. Now on to painting. A lot of these fields will get painted now. And we add some mud around the sides as well. Try and get the right direction. It looks sort of best. I tried that sort of greeny one, I didn't like it, so we'll go over the top of this one. It doesn't have to be perfect, you're whizzing through here really. It just has to look like it's a field of something. And as always, I generally paint the woods quite dark, especially the ones at the back. We highlight a few bits, but most of it's dark. If you have a real woods, it's dark inside because you don't get the light because of the leaves, obviously. So that's why I always do that. More of this, and there's a lot of this, which I just didn't put on film. Now, if you're on Twitter, you probably saw my or my Facebook page. You probably saw the number of files which made up this episode. There's a lot. So I tend to record little bits at a time rather than just keep it recording and then editing. I record every time I want to do something. I record, stop. Then I can just edit the bits together and just snip out the beginning and the end of those files just to make it look a bit more seamless. That's my way of doing it. I find it saves me about a third of the time, if over than just doing one long recording. So I don't think you guys want to watch me look for assets, go search for assets. So I think it's a much better way of doing it. As I said, there probably won't be an episode next week. I've got to do a load of detailing. We don't have any details on the mounting area, and I need to put the cameras in. I need to just make sure it's all working. The aim really is to release it, and I want to try and make sure as many of you it will work out of the box, but I suspect it won't. We'll talk about that when we view the route a little bit more on that episode. But so at that point I'll be looking at your feedback. If it doesn't work, then you need to tell me why. If it does work, I'll be looking for you guys to tell me what are your specs of the computer, and then what we'll do, we'll create some sort of wiki for the route, and then say what settings you should use for what particular CPU, GPU you've got, so it can actually work. Now this is a bugbear of mine before. There wasn't any details. So this is behind the end station. There we go, you can see it. And looking straight there was just nothing. I didn't put enough details in. Right, so we're done the end bit now, look. We got a few details down on this harbour. So we're back to here again, so we start here. We're going to do the caravan. I think that's the caravan part's the last thing we do. We need to take out that road, take it back, give it a half one in so it looks like it's an entrance. Then we can put the path back in there again. And of course this road doesn't like different heights. I probably won't use this road again. It looks good, but it's very difficult to use. So that road there, as you can see, it's just going to go around in a circle. I messed around the height a little bit off camera just to get rid of these bits of grass, or maybe I'll do it on camera. I thought I did it off camera. Then this side. Now I do wish I'd put the path the other side on the outside. Just had it on the outside, I think that would look better. Now extend the houses a little bit more round. A little bit round, that's great English that is, yeah. A little bit more round, yeah, let's go with that. We take out the cars were here, parked here last time if you remember, so we're going to have some sort of warehouse or something. Let's say it's for the fishing, or I don't know. Use your imaginations, I'm sure you'll come up with something. Now that's going to be a walking way into the caravan park. Path in. And the cars will go the other way, from the back. Oh, that wasn't a good transition, was it? Doesn't have to be too perfect, this spline here. Probably going to view it from the other side, so it's more important it looks good from this side. So move that back so you don't see that. That's it. Doesn't matter in the front too much. Get a wall around there. Looks like it's something. Put a tree in there in the end as well. There you go. A couple more houses. We'll put gardens around the backs as well. Just some basic, hedges, low-res hedges there. you won't ever get a close-up of this caravan site, so it doesn't matter too much. It's the overall look you're going for, really. I looked at caravan sites, images of caravan sites. They weren't the massive caravans which you see today, so I've gone for these much smaller ones. They're far more dated. They didn't have the paths and stuff you'd have now. It was much more just on grass. So there's a small entrance, and then really these mud paths, gravel paths, which I'm putting in. I've decided this building and another one is going to be the only facilities, the only toilets in the whole place. There you go, for them. Get this park going round. So on this side, we're going to have all the caravans. We just dot a load about. I quite like the direction they're heading, so they can be put like that. There's some new caravans, so we get rid of those. A little bit too new, I think. So we put some of these tents in. I can find some different ones I'll add to it's in as well. A few more. And we'll put some hedges in to hide that road's... Yes, that road. Just floating there. I don't like floating. I've said it again. There. So these, just use this hedge to make some gardens and stuff, and I think we use some low res hedges behind there as well. If you go over realism, those hedges would be out of it from the road, so you'd have a little grass verge, but what we're really using them for is to hide the fact that the road is floating. Now we find the height from this one, get it in, we turn around, we go back to the other one, check the height, there we go, and we put this one up to that height, and then it's easier that way. It should be pretty much perfect. You can see I've now put a building on the other side. That's going to be a pub. There's a little car park there. Didn't film it, don't know why. Should have done. Yeah, we paint it a little bit so it looks a bit more real. Add a few of these in. Cars parked there. And a wall going round. We are nearly done, guys. A few more hedges and things. What we need to put in here is another little wall. One of those horrible sort of concrete walls you see at the beaches these days. Should probably be voting around then. They love their concrete in the 60s. Of course, we need to put some people on the beach as well. So, we're going to do that. I think a few more trees around this area first. But oh no, there we go. It's beach huts I found. There's the people. And that's it. And this is what we made today. What do you guys think? There's that track. In places a little steep. Here's our junction between the our branch line here and what will be the that new line. And there's our middle station there. There's people waiting for a train, which they're going to have to do a long wait, 2 weeks away. At the other end. And we'll have a little look at the what it looks like from here. We'll overlook the crane, which is floating, and this track, which is actually wider than the normal track, which we'll have to replace. I think it looks right. I do think it looks a bit steep, but I did want to get around here. Actually, the view's better going down. I should have done it going down. It looks very overgrown here. line isn't used very often. Just to collect some fish, which the local fishermen have actually collected, have got, and they go and sell it in another market somewhere. Now we're up to our branch line. And of course you can hear the bell in the city of the turntable. Of course you can, right here. Right, so the next episode will be in 2 weeks' time. I'll do all the bits and bobs to get the line fully working. And, well, but for this episode, that's it. I'd like to thank everyone for watching. If you liked it, please press the like button. If you want to see more, please subscribe. And if you press that ding-dong bell button, it even tells you when I put more stuff on. Thank you very much, guys. Cheers, and see you next time. Bye-bye.